Hi, hi everyone. I'm just going to do a little video, mention a few things. I'm getting ready. I'm at my parents' house at the minute, where I keep my van, and just come to sort a few things out. And one of the things is getting ready. I've got a skirt for the Model C. In fact, it was bought for me for Christmas. It's the same as what's on the Model A, on the Humpback A. It's obviously wider to accommodate the, but it's exactly the same. It's just an extra foot wider at the back. I've got these little metal bars. I'm painting them. Local company called Peter Booth, and the chap down there that works down there. I went and bought the metal rods yesterday. The idea of the metal rods is that it holds the weight of the curtain down when it's, well, obviously where the combine's working, the weight is in the bar and it keeps it down when the wind's blowing. But I found that the Model C is actually bad for when it's windy. The header's not much wider than the track of the combine, so your straw, a bit of wind, quite high up as well. Actually, the Model C is actually quite higher up at the back, and it all just goes on the crop, so your next pass is thicker and it just keeps on getting thicker each time you come up. So I was having, when I did the show last year, I was actually having to drive back up the field and keep coming the same way so the straw was going, and I thought I've had enough of that. So there's a chap called Graham, and he runs a little like agricultural business in Norfolk. It's called, I'm trying to think now, Farm and Rural Past, and he makes parts for binders. Well, obviously he made the previous skirt for my Model A, and he did a really good job. He like I say, he generally makes binder canvases, and he's been doing that kind of stuff his whole life, and obviously he's old enough to remember when they were still using binders, so he managed to keep hold of the techniques. There's not many people left doing it, but he's still attached to the vintage harvest scene in a big way. And when I got him to do I was putting him up to do the first one, it was very fortunate because he could have just made one for me, but his friend actually has a Model A with a sock already round it, with a straw skirt already round it, which was really good, and he reckons it's an original one. And actually looking at the way he's made it, and you look at the photos from back in the 60s when they were new, they do look just like the originals that I've seen on them, and so really impressed with that. These bits of wood, I just bought them. I did use beech on the Model A, but just for convenience, the minute I passed a wood yard the other day and they had these bits of wood, and big length. The other bits are on the side in there. I think it was like 4.5 meters long, and these are to hold. So I'm gonna staple those bits of wood to the top strip so that I can screw it to the combine, and it just gives it a lot more support with the wood. I didn't really want to use metal on that bit, and I just felt it better to use the wood, because it means that I can just use self-tapping screws and go through and just bolt it to the combine. That's what I did on the Model A, and it works fine. And I noticed the Model A, it makes such a better job of trail behind it. So the Model C is actually quite wide at the back, and you do really notice the difference. That extra, the Model A is 3 foot, the C 4 foot, and you really notice the size difference with them. With a 10-foot header and you've got a 4-foot swath, and it really bulks out. So yeah, I'm painting these bars, because what happens is, if you don't paint them, then they get rusty in here and it comes through the coating. I've got to work out a way of holding them in here. I think it should be alright, but obviously you just slide the bars in. He's left these little slots here that you slide it in that, like that little sock. And I'll show you, well, hopefully tomorrow I'm going down there and then I'll get it all on and show you. Gonna trying to start early tomorrow and get as much done as possible. Yeah, so harvest coming up. I noticed there was a field the other day that was like going yellow. The first one I've seen like it. So I probably won't be cutting as much this year, but I'm definitely planning to cut a bit. I know that my friend's got 15 acres that he's planning on cutting, so we're going to go for that, and just, you know, a couple of days just having a bit of fun with the combines and using them. Ideally I really want to use them every year. Especially at least 2 of them, and especially the Model A, the little Model A, the EA, because it's done nearly every harvest from new. I want to try and keep it going. Whereas, you know, the A Super, if it sits in the shed, it doesn't bother me as much. And obviously the Model C, I want to get that out because I haven't had that very long either. So I want to get that working and have a play about with that again. One thing that I am looking for is a thermostat for the Model C. The EA hasn't got one on it either. Not the proper one anyway. But that seems to run alright heat, whereas the C, whether it's the gauge or something, but it doesn't seem to get that hot until you're working. So when I'm letting it run in the shed, just a winter run and that, it's obviously not doing any good. It's not getting really hot quick enough. So I wanted to get the right thermostat, and it's a Perkins 6305 engine, and it's a thermostat with the originals, they had big spring around them, and I find it difficult trying to find the right fitting. Everything I've ever put in there, it just sort of like flaps around. I don't know. Obviously it's a simple fix, but finding the right one is I just haven't found the right one yet, and I'm sure there's out there. I'm sure it ain't a problem, but obviously being the age it is, no one can say, oh, it was definitely that type of thermostat, and there can only be so many different types of thermostat, surely. But there you go. Just leave that with you. If anybody knows of that have a thermostat that they know for sure will fit that, I would be interested. Just want to mention a chap that I've just seen just today actually. I went to visit a friend of mine in the area this morning, an old friend of mine I've known for years, and he said about this chap he calls himself Fenland Crusader, and you know, have a look at his channel on YouTube. I've only briefly had a look because I am very busy, but he runs a farm on the Fens, and he uses all just old tractors, old drills, old stuff. He's got 2 old Massey combines, and he's getting into trying to get them running again. And yeah, so I just thought I'd mention him just to show my support for him, because although I've only got combines, if I could, I would have the whole lot. But it's just, I'm not in a situation where I'm able to really at the minute. Whereas one day I'd like to, if it's possible. Tomorrow I am going down to the combine shed, like I say, and I'm going to try and sort through a lot of my spare parts that are just sort of piled up, and I'm going to sort of make a decision with a lot of it. Do I really need it? You know, I think I've got a lot of stuff there that can just be took away, taken to the scrapyard or thrown in a bin. But I'm going to look through it and see what I've got. If anybody has any parts requests, you know, just message me today, and I'll have a look and see if I've got anything that can help you out. You know, I might well have something. I just found this for my friend. My friend's having trouble with the valve block on his combine. This is what they call a priority valve, like basically it's the first feed in, I think, this one, and that's your return back to tank. But this is ground speed, and his ground speed variator keeps allow him back, and he's checked it and he seems to think there's something damaged in the valve block. The actual alley casting is worn away, so it's just leaking straight back through. This is your header up and down, and you know, that valve in there holds all your fluid in the header. Managed to find him a few bits the other day actually with my gleaners, my spares gleaners up in Leicestershire by Loughborough. I managed to get him some bits. He wanted a shaft off the head of the main drive shaft, and that came out pretty easily. It didn't take as long, and I managed to get accumulator bottle for the hydraulics, which cushions the hydraulics and means that your header rides over the ground, and I got him one of them as well, so hopefully that works. But I'm going to take this down to him tomorrow morning, and yeah, so hopefully we've got to put battery on charge because I want to start the combines up tomorrow, and sort of get them running. So I've got a busy day tomorrow. Yeah, so can't think of anything else, but I just thought I'd mention those couple of things. Oh yeah, actually what I was going to say as well is, like, good news in my own personal life. I moved up to South Northampton, South Nottinghamshire. It's right on the border where I'm living, and the place where I'm living is actually it's a drug and alcohol rehabilitation place, and I've managed to get. I wanted to get back in there because things went wrong for me a few years back, and I did work there for a number of years, and I became quite stressed out with some of the stuff that was going on. But I've got a peace about it now. But I'm still interested in helping the people. I've got a heart for those a lot of people struggling, and I just wanted to do what I can to help them. And I'm volunteering again there now. So that's where my heart's at with it, and I think it's. People's lives are important, so as much as I like machinery, and I think, I'm pretty sure that for the rest of my life I will have an interest in machinery. I can't see it being any other way, it's just me. But I've got a heart for those people, and, because I know what it can be like, and I know a lot of those people are worse than what I've seen. And so, I just thought I'd share that with you, and hopefully something comes out of that. And I enjoy. There's a couple of lads that I've been able to show stuff with, like just with the lawnmowers up there, that just showing them bits and pieces. And it's not for everybody, but like I said before, if it can help a couple of people, even one person, just to sort of like take an interest in something different, then I think it's got to be worth it, hasn't it? But yeah, I'll catch up with you tomorrow again, hopefully. Right, bye.